joined us. So I think we can get started. Okay. Right. I gave you guys for homework to do activity 1.4 and to do 1.9. Okay. So that's where I want us to begin today. I want us to do 1.4 very quickly. And then we will see what we can do thereafter. But I think we can do it in this session, and then we can move on to do 1.3 because 1.3 is different. 1.9 is pretty similar. Okay, so let's get into it. If you open your textbooks to question 1.4. Okay, I'm already at the required. Okay, and under the required, they're saying use the information given above to complete the following for July 2009. Record any differences identified in the bank reconciliation process in a supplementary cash book receipts and cash book payments with columns for details and amount. Begin with the total before any amendments. Okay, then the second bit there says open, post to, and balance the bank account in the general ledger. Compile the bank reconciliation statement as at 30 July 2009. Okay, awesome stuff. Right, so we know what we need to do. It's exactly the same as what we needed to do in question 1.2. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so they've given us the bank reconciliation statement. This time they haven't given us the cash receipts journal and cash payments journal, but they've given us the check counterfoils. Remember, check counterfoils are the source document for your cash payments. So in other words, these are the checks that we wrote out. All right, so this would typically go into your cash payments journal. Then your deposit slips, this is the money that we received. All right, and obviously deposited into the bank. So these would then go into your cash receipts journal, or would have been recorded in your cash receipts journal. Then we have the bank statement. All right, and then we obviously have additional information. Okay, so again, just to recap, right, I want to just take us to our process, and this is why I told you guys to do this for homework, because then you obviously have the process, you're starting to get the process of what we are doing. Okay, so there, first things first, we want to compare last month's bank reconciliation with this month's bank statement. Okay, so we go to the bank reconciliation statement there for 30 June, the first table, and we look to see, okay, have they rectified the things that we recommended in June's bank reconciliation statement in July's bank statement? Okay, right. Just grabbing my clutch pencil, and I hope you guys have your pencils nearby. All right, and you're doing this with me. Okay, so first amount that we have there, outstanding check CC 704. All right, 1,071 Rand 35 cents. Is it in? So this is an outstanding check. All right, in other words, a payment. Okay, and if you look in the debit side, remember we said the debit side is where money is leaving us in the bank statement, and the credit side is where money is coming in. If we look in that column, we do not see that 1,071 Rand. Okay, so we circle it, and then we say, okay, this needs to be rectified in the bank reconciliation statement. Okay, so just put BR next to it. Move on to the next one. We have CC 736. All right, and that's at 2,142 Rand 74 cents. And if I look on the very second line item in the bank statement, I see it's there. So I can tick that off in the bank statement, and I can tick it off in the bank reconciliation. I go to my next outstanding check, CC 737, okay? And if you check in that debit column in the bank, you'll see that it's not there. So I circle it and I put BR for bank reconciliation statement for June next to it. All right. Then I go to outstanding deposit, SLP 1568, and I see that 1,874 Rand 89 cents. If I look on the credit side, it's also on the first. It's the third line transaction there. So I tick it off in the bank statement and I tick it off in the bank recon. All right. Then next we have correction of bank error on deposit slip 1565, where merger bank understated the amount of the deposit on the bank statement. Okay, so that was a correction. Did they actually correct it? Let's see, is the amount in the bank statement? Let's see. We're looking for 2,678 Rand. I see it there also on the first correction of error. This is the fourth line transaction. We tick it off in the bank statement, we tick it off in the bank recon. Okay, so we are done now with step number 1. Okay, we've compared last month's bank reconciliation with this month's bank statement. Cool. All right, then we move on to step number 2. We want to compare the bank column in the cash receipts journal to that of the credit side on the bank statement. Okay, so that means that since we don't have the actual cash receipts journal, that would then mean we want to compare the deposit slips. All right, okay, so we go to that third table that we have at the bottom of your page. Okay, and then we begin to say, okay, the first bank deposit slip, SLP 1569, which was 1,807 Rand 25 cents. Is it in the credit column? Yes, it is. All right, it's that last transaction on the first. So I tick it off in the bank statement and I tick it off in that table with the bank deposit slips. Cool. Next one, 2,959 Rand 30 cents. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay. I just wanted to say, guys, if you have any questions or thoughts along the way, please feel free to just switch on your mic, just in case I don't actually hear the chat go off. Okay. So that 2,957 Rand 30 cents is there in the bank statement, is there in the deposit. So we tick off both there. Then there's a 5,257 Rand 42 cents. Is it in the bank statement? Let's see on the credit side. Yes, it is. It's the first transaction on the 12th. Okay, so we tick it off in the deposit slips as well table. Then we go over to the next one, the deposit slip on the 19th for 2,793 Rand. Okay, no cents. And if you look on the credit side in your bank statement, you'll see it's not there. So we circle it and then we put BR for bank reconciliation statement. All right, we need to include that in the bank reconciliation statement. Okay, we move on to the next one, 1,642 Rand 94 cents. Is it there in the credit side? Nope, it's not there in the credit side. Okay, so we circle it, bank reconciliation statement. Okay, we write that next to it. Then there was a 1,971 Rand 53 cents. Is it there in the bank statement? Nope, it's not there. So we circle that as well and just quickly write BR next to it. Cool. So we've compared what we have in the deposit slips table to what we have on the credit side in the bank statement, but we're not yet done. Now we need to look and see, do we have amounts? that are in the bank statement on the credit column, but not in the deposit slips table, or not in the cash receipts bank column, if we had actually had that, okay? And we see that, yes, on which days do we not have I see what you're saying there, Shakira. Yes, you're right. But I'm just I'm just following the process, because isn't we read the additional information a bit later? So yes, there is a wrong amount there, actually a few, one or two within the question. But I want us to actually go through this systematic process. But you are 100% right. Okay. So talk to me, guys. What amounts do we have in the bank statement that are not in the deposit slips table? On the 11th, yes, is that 2,149? No, not a problem, Shakira, not a problem. Thank you, Kellum. There's a 2,148 Rand, 72 cents. So we circle it, okay, and we put CRJ next to it, okay? Then the next one that I see also, yes, the 23rd and the 19th. Thank you, Etienne. Thank you, Kellum. Both those amounts are not there. So you quickly put CRJ next to those amounts, okay? I circle them as well so that it stands out to me when I look in the page and I know I have to deal with these amounts. Then the last one, is there another one? Is there another one? Or is that it? Thank you, Etienne. Yes. Thank you, Kellum. On the 28th, we have that 489.8 cents. Okay, so we circle that as well, and we know that we need to plug these in our adjusted cash receipts journal. Okay, now we've dealt with step number 2. We can now move on to step number 3. Okay, and why I keep showing you this is because if you master the procedure, regardless of how they ask you the question and what they actually ask you to do, you'll be just fine. Okay, so now we need to do the exact same thing, but now we're doing it with the check counterfoils. All right, what is step number 3? We're comparing the debit column in your bank statement with the bank column in your cash payments journal. Just the bank column in your cash payments journal. But in this case, we don't have that, but we do have a check counterfoil table. So that is what we are then going to use, all right, to compare. Okay, so cool. Let's then do that. Let's then do that. Okay. All right. Awesome. So first amount that we have then the check counterfoil table is 8,381.20 cents. Do we have that? Yes, we do. On the first, sorry, not the first, the second, the only transaction on the second. So I tick it off in my bank statement, and I tick it off in the check counterfoil table. Move on to the next one. We have 6,285 Rand 89 cents. It's there on the 4th. We tick it off in the bank statement. We tick it off in the check counterfoil table. Then we have the 907 Rand 96 cents. Do we have that in the bank statement? I do not see that in the bank statement. Okay, so I circle that amount, all right, and then I just put bank recon next to it, okay, next to it, okay. Then we move on. We see there's a 9,778 Rand 6 cents. If you look on the 11th in your bank statement, it's there. Tick it off, tick it off. Then we have 11,873 Rand 35 cents. We see in the bank statement is there on the 14th. Tick it off in the bank statement, tick it off in the check counterfoil table. 1,323 Rand 53 cents. It's there on the 19th. All right. So we tick it off there. Okay. Okay. Right. Yes, you are right. It's double there. Okay, we'll look into the additional information just to see what is going on there. Okay, but for now, we can just circle it and put CPJ next to that second same entry. Okay, so it stands out to us and we know we need to deal with this amount. Next one, we have 1,323 Rand, 53 cents. It's there on the 19th ticket off. 5,301 Rand, 10 cents. It's there on the 23rd in your bank statement, ticket off. We have 1,346 Rand and 7 cents. Is there on the 27th in your bank statement, ticket off. Okay, and then those last two payments in your check counterfoil table, the 4,190, 60 cents, and the 20,455, 50 cents, both are not in the bank statement. So what do? We circle them and we put BR next to them. So we know that these need to go to the bank reconciliation statement. Okay. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Cool. Then we now move on to looking at the debit column in the bank statement, and we say to ourselves, are there amounts that have not been ticked off? That's another quick way of doing this. Okay, if there are amounts that have not been ticked off, you need to circle those amounts and then put next to them CPJ. Okay, these payments need to be recorded in the CPJ. Okay, now that we've done that, we have now dealt with step number 3. Okay, now we've dealt with step number 3. But before we can go on, we need to read the additional information. Okay, just to make sure that we are doing the right stuff with all these amounts that we've circled. And then we can obviously then do the necessary adjustments. Okay, so let's do that quickly. And Shakira, I'm sure you are more than ready for this phase of events. Okay, so let's get into it. Additional information. Number 1, check number CC704 is now stale and must be cancelled. Okay, so let's look, check number CC704. That's in the bank reconciliation statement for for June, and we had put BR next to it. Okay, so now you need to cross out that BR for bank recon, because this is actually, since it was a stale check, where does it need to go? Somebody tell me there in the chat. Where do we need this amount to go? Yes, the cash book receipts, or the CRJ, 100% Abigail. Thank you very much, Etienne. So that's what we need to write next to that amount right there. Okay, happiness. You can cross out that additional information number 1, point number 1, okay, because we've dealt with it now. We move on to the next one. It says the bank has recorded check number CC 740 at the incorrect amount. Okay, so we look for check number CC 740 in your check counterfoil. We see that it's 907 Rand 96 cents. And if we look at the bank statement, on the 7th is where we see that check. And what have they recorded it at? They've recorded it at 1,700 no, 1,007 Rand. 7 Rand 0.96. Okay. So what's the difference? And you guys have obviously already know what you need to do there. You need to calculate the differences, and then whenever the bank makes a mistake, we know that it's going to the bank recon. So you're 100% correct. That's a correction in the bank recon. All right. So now we need to ask ourselves, how much are we going to correct this error by? Okay, so we say, what's the difference between the 907 and the 1007. Okay, and I'm just doing the calculation, but I'm sure you guys have already done it in your heads. 0.96, I believe. Yes. Okay, so as Callum mentioned, and as Shakira has mentioned as well, it's 100 Rand. Okay, so then the next question you have to ask yourself is, we know that the debit column in your what's this, bank statement, is when money is leaving us. So if these people debited more than what they should have, because remember they debited 1,007 Rand, but they were supposed to debit 907 Rand. Okay, so they debited 100 Rand more. So how is this going to be a positive 100 in the bank reconciliation or a negative 100 in the bank reconciliation? Thank you very much, Etienne. 100% correct. Thank you, Callum. It is a positive. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm just showing you the logic of how you arrive at whether something is going to increase or decrease, okay? Right, so we've dealt with point number 2. Then we move on to the next one. Deposit corresponding with SLP 1572 was credited on the bank statement at the correct amount of 2,643. Okay, so this time what that means is if the bank got it right, if they're making mention of that, that means we got it wrong. So we look in the bank. Okay, in the bank they've already given us the correct amount, and if we look at that deposit on the 19th in the deposit slips, okay, you'll see that we did it for 2,793 Rand. Okay, instead of 2,600. Okay, so again you need to just quickly calculate to see what's the difference. 2,793 minus 2,643. Okay, and you get 150. So because remember this is a deposit, so that means that we are saying we received 150 more than we actually should have. So what we need to do is we cancel out. Remember we wrote BR next to this amount there, so we cross that out, and this actually needs to be rectified. If we made an error in the cash receipts journal, we rectify that in the cash payments journal. So this is going to go to the CPJ, and it's going to be 150 that we are entering into the CPJ. Okay, right, cool. So you can cross out that third point as well, because that just lets you know we've dealt with that additional piece of information. Then the fourth, it says deposit corresponding with SLP 1571 was for check received from a debtor, F duty. The check was returned by the bank marks return to drawer. Okay, so where do we have that in the bank statement? We have it on the 15th. Okay, and we have already written that that should go to the CPJ, which is correct. Okay, because think about this. When we had the deposit, we said we have money coming in. Okay, but then it bounced. So we then have to say, no, actually that money hasn't come in. So we need to put it in the CPJ. Okay. The direct deposit on the 11th of July was from a debtor, T. Turner, in settlement of her account. 11 July, T. Turner, yes, we said that should go to the CRJ. Okay, so it's fine. We can cross that out. Direct deposit on 23rd was royalty income from the publisher. The 23rd. Okay, we've said that goes to the CRJ, so that's fine. We can cross that out. Debit order in favor of Meggit property is for the business rent expense. Okay, where is that now? That's the very last transaction, and we've put that for the CPJ, so that's fine. We can cross that out. Then we have debit order in favor of time security is for the business armed response. So time security, that's the second last transaction. We put that towards the CPJ, which is correct. So we can cross that out. Then check number GTRE5687 was incorrectly debited to the business account. Okay, so in other words, this amount never should have gone off our account. So this is an error on the bank side, okay? So we cross out that CPJ that we wrote next to it, and we write BR for bank recon, okay? All right, and then the 10th and last additional information, we have check number CC742, was erroneously debited twice on the bank statement. This is what you were talking about, Shakira. Okay, so we had initially circled that, the second amount, and we had written CPJ. We're crossing that CPJ out and we're saying bank recon because this was an error on the bank's side. Okay, all right, so guys, guess what? The heavy lifting is done now. Once you've labeled all the amounts that need to be and where they need to go, you are now just about recording your information. You're home and dry. You're now just collecting your marks is what I'm basically telling you. Okay, so we're here now at step number 4, where we need to make the amendments to the cash books and then also post to the bank account in the general ledger in your T account. Okay, that's step number 4. All right. Right, so let's then do that. Okay. Right. So here we are. Here we are. Okay, and I'm just wondering about time. So there I've just left those entries in there, which is good. That should save us some time. Okay. So this was the total that we had before any amendments in the cash book receipts. And where are we getting it from? If you look in your textbook, you'll see it's that very same amount that we have at the bottom of your duplicate receipts. Okay, so now we're just looking for everywhere where we wrote cash receipts journal or CRJ. All right, so first place we had a stale check from the bank reconciliation statement. Okay, that was check number CC 704. Okay, and that was for 1,071 rand 37. Okay, the next one where we wrote CRJ was now we go to the bank statement, and it was that direct deposit by T Turner. All right, so here you can write direct deposit and T Turn. I said T Turner, it's actually T Turn. Then 2,148 rand 72 cents. Okay, cool. Then next one was on the 19th. On the 19th, okay, wait, that deposit on the, I see we circled there. Deposit corresponding with okay, so I just forgot to cancel this out. On the 3rd, remember on the 19th we had that deposit for 2,643. We need to cross that out because remember we said that the bank had gotten it correct according to the information, additional information 0.3. So that just needed to be corrected in the CPJ, and that was for what was the difference we had there? For 150. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next one that we have there is actually this direct deposit. I'm just gonna copy and paste. and that was for the publisher. I'm just going to put publisher, and the amount there was the 4,285.47. Okay, right, and then the last place where we had put CRJ happened on the 28th, and that was interest on credit balance. Again, guys, it's only teacher who is allowed to do shorthand things. You guys need to write in full, unless you don't have enough space. Okay, then I need you just to make sure that I can clearly identify what it is you are trying to say. Okay, then when you add these up, you'll get to this 24,424 rand 9 cents. That's our new balance on our cash receipts journal. All right, in other words, our total receipts. Then we go to the cash payments journal and we do the exact same thing again. Where is this 69,000 coming from? 843. And guys, these are the small things that rob you of getting the full marks, because you don't know, but they never gave us a cash payments journal, so how am I supposed to get the total? The total is the total of all your check counterfoils. Okay, so you look there and you see, oh, that's 69,000, that's where it's coming from. All right, remember, I've just thrown these in there because I'm trying to save us some time and make sure we get through the whole exercise. But when you guys do it in your test or exam, guess what? This will not be there. Okay, right, so the first place where we need to rectify something into the cash payments journal is that RD check. Well, it's not the first one, but since we've already written that out, let's start there. So that was for 5,257.42. Okay, then we have bank. What is this? This is supposed to be bank charges. I do not know what I was writing there. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's just leave this one for now, because I also see I've written out service fees and all those things. So let's just leave it as it was. Maybe it was something I was trying to write there. Okay, but anyway, let's just see. Okay, cool. Let's move on to time securities, because we know what that's about and where it is. So that was for 2,678.42. Okay, then the rental 4,889.29. Okay, then we had service fees 102.42. Then we had interest on bank charges. Okay, guys, in your answer booklet, you will see that they just add all the bank charges, service fees, and stuff together. Okay, which is fine. You would just prefer to separate it, but it's perfectly fine. So yeah, don't do whatever works best for you. All right. Okay, then where is this? Okay, so they overstated the deposit, remember there on the credit column there on the 19th. So this is where we bring that 150. Okay, cool. Let's see, okay, so this is what this was. This was the checkbook fees, which was 167.45. Okay, and there you go. All right, so we've dealt with now step number, where is that thing? Step number 4, amendments to the cash books. And I've left the bank I've left the bank as is. So here you can see the total payments amount is coming from our new balance on the cash book receipt. Can even just highlight that in yellow, but let me just leave it. It's fine. And then also the total receipts. Okay-ish, guys. How? Okay, my technology is misbehaving. Okay, so there we go. This is our new bank account. Okay, so total payments, we know that we're crediting because bank is an asset. So we know it's decreasing on the credit side, increasing on the debit side. Okay, so we had an where do we get this bank balance? Again, this is where they catch you guys out in terms of knowing your process. Somebody tell me, where do we get this bank balance? The opening balance for our bank account. Somebody tell me there in the chat. The bank recon of June, 100%. If you look right at the bottom of that table, you see there 47,075 rand 35 cents. Okay, remember the closing balance here. Remember, because the bank recon for last month, we're saying we want to make sure that our personal bank account in our books matches the books the bank statement that we get from our bank. The balances must match. Okay, right? So that is what we then obviously have at the end of June after doing our amendments and everything. All right, so that would, since that's the end of June balance, is then going to be the opening balance for the month of July. Okay, very, very important. These are the small things that rob you of your 100% on the question. So that's where we're getting that. Okay, then total receipts, we had calculated that over here. That's the 24,000. Did it again. I don't know how this thing is doing this. Okay. Okay, cool. So, right. So there we go. Okay, just in the interest of time, because I want us to do the next question. We've already listed the stuff that needs to go into the bank recon. Okay, for this is July's bank reconciliation. So can you see what we've done here? The balance as per bank statement. We're taking that bank balance that we had in the bank statement, okay, right at the bottom of the bank statement, and then we are saying, okay, that bank balance should actually be different, okay, because it should then match what we have here. Okay, and I've highlighted this in red because since it's on the credit side, it means that we're in overdraft. All right, we don't have a positive bank balance. Okay, but I'm going to show you now the answers and we'll just discuss because I want to make sure that we do question 1.3 as well. And I see it's 1 minute to your break, which we will give you. Okay, so here are your answers, same as what we did. Ooh, not as neat though. See if we can quickly change that. Oh, goodness me. All right, cool, no problem. So anyway, that's fine. Okay, now it's behaving itself. All right, there we go. All right, so there was our bank balance. Okay, then these were the outstanding checks. Again, we get these from everywhere where we've written BR, bank reconciliation. Okay, this one came out of the bank reconciliation for June. All right, All right, and then we got this out of, if you look in your check counterfoil for a table, you'll see there on the 28th, that's where we got that 4,000 from, and the 20,000 was on the 30th, also from your check counterfoil. Then we went on to our outstanding deposits, guys, and you should master this format. Balance as per bank statement, then less outstanding checks, then add outstanding deposits, and then you deal with your errors. Okay, outstanding deposits, we got that from our cash receipts or journal, or our deposit slips. All right, remember we canceled out the 2,793 because there was an error on our side on that amount. Okay, and then those two checks came from those last two in the deposit slips table. Then obviously we had our errors. Okay, addition, correction of bank error for check CC704. We added in that 100 Rand. Remember, they debited our account wrongly, so we want that money back. FNB, ABSA, Standard Bank, whoever you are, pay us back our money. Okay, then we added in this last check because it was incorrectly debited twice to our bank statement. Okay, and then that, can you see this balance matches the balance that we're having here on the bank account? That's what we want. That's why we do bank reconciliation. If this amount does not match your bank, know that somewhere you may have made a finger error, or you left out something, something to that effect. But it's not the end of the world, because most of the marks are in the process. Okay, so just taking us back to the process, can you see this? We identified items in the CRJ and CBJ not included in the bank statement. We did that whilst we were doing step 2 and step 3. We compiled the bank reconciliation statement. We did that just now, and then last thing that we did, we reconciled by looking at the balances in the bank and in the bank reconciliation statement. So those matched. So we have reconciled our bank account to our bank statement. Okay, guys, that is your question 1.4. All right, so let me now give you your break. Okay, if you have any questions, just leave them in the chat, and then as soon as we get back, those are the first things that we will deal with. Okay, again, guys, I know I haven't uploaded any content for you guys. I will do that on Friday. So let's say latest end of the weekend, you'll have all my slides for every learning unit, and whatever other additional content that I have for you will be on VC Learn. And then I also will have uploaded these YouTube videos for you guys